A very good evening to you all. You're joining us on Prime TV News. I'm Dilani Jaitilaka. Let's have a look at the headlines first. The Premier says reconciliation among different communities would only heal the wounds created by the Easter Sunday attack. The discussion on ministerial portfolios of Muslim politicians ends without a conclusion. The Court of Appeal rejects Gotabaya's petition. Ravana 1 positioned in the orbit. India encephalitis death toll exceeds 100. Now for news in detail. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says reconciliation among different communities would only heal the wounds created by the Easter Sunday attack. The Premier stressed that different religious groups in the country should work like children of the same mother. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe made this comment, making a special statement. The Premier also thanked all the quarters who supported to make Pozon Festival a grand success while bringing the public life to normalcy. Parliamentarian Faisal Qasim says that the discussions held to decide whether Muslim ministers should accept their ministerial posts again have concluded without any decision. A meeting was held with the participation of Muslim ministers who resigned from their posts. The talks were held at the parliamentary premises to take a decision on whether or not to accept their ministerial posts again. The meeting has lasted for few hours. All the politicians who resigned from their ministerial portfolios attended the meeting. The revision application and writ petition filed by former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa was rejected by the Court of Appeal today. He had requested to issue an order nulling an order issued by the Permanent High Court on the case on misappropriation of funds when constructing the D.A. Rajapaksa Memorial Museum. Meanwhile, the Colombo Magistrate Courts today ordered to further remand Mohammad Farooq Mohammad Fawaz, the Colombo District Organizer of the National Tawheed Jamaat. The magistrate ordered to remand the suspect until the 2nd of next month. The suspect has been charged over being part of an extremist group and engaging in promoting extremism in the country. The police informed the Colombo Magistrates Court that the suicide bomb attack that was carried out by the National Tawheed Jamaat had been recorded in his mobile phone. The police also educated the court that the government analyst's report has not been received yet on some items that were seized from the suspect. Meanwhile, the individual who made an attempt to bribe the OIC of the Horopatana police station to get released one of his nephews who had links with the National Tawheed Jamaat was granted bail. The suspect was granted bail on a 15,000 rupee cash bail and 2 4,000 rupee personal bails. The trial was postponed to the 10th of September. 3 suspects who were arrested with a letter with defamatory content that tarnishes character of the president were granted bail today. 3 employees of the media unit of Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla were arrested by the police with a defamatory letter that was scheduled to be sent to chief incumbents of temples in the Kandy district. The suspects were released on 2 500,000 rupee personal bails. The magistrate concluded that charges levelled against the suspects cannot be categorized under the Terrorism Prevention Act. The trial was fixed to the 9th of September. Director General of the Arthur C. Clarke Centre, Engineer Sanat Panavenna, says the Ravana 1 satellite has been positioned in the space accurately.
3, 2, 1, deploy. Yo-ho!
He added that the signals have been well received from the satellite when it was flying over Sri Lanka. Ravana 1 is part of the Sri Lanka's National Space Technology Initiative. Sanat Panavenna highlighted that the Ravana 1 satellite was released to its orbit at 3:45 p.m. in Sri Lanka time from the International Space Station. It will revolve around the Earth for every 92 minutes. It will take 2 weeks to make the satellite stable on its orbit. Beacon signals of the satellite has already been received by several satellite stations installed on the planet. The engineer who contributed to create the satellite, Dulani Chamika Vitanage, said that the name Ravana was given to the satellite to mark the legendary king Ravana who lived in Sri Lanka thousands of years ago. She noted that Ravana 1 is equipped with all the systems that can be found in any satellite in use. She pointed out that Ravana 1 was positioned in the orbit along with 2 satellites from Japan and Nepal. The Cabinet of Ministers convened today under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
The Cabinet meeting commenced at 9:30 a.m. today at the Presidential Secretariat. The meeting was held till 11 a.m. The Cabinet of Ministers discussed about several memorandums subjected to Cabinet approval. Generally, the Cabinet meeting happens on every Tuesday, but the meeting was not held last week. Speaking to reporters, Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Pereira stated that the Cabinet meeting was a grand success. He noted that several memorandums were given approval without any hassle. The minister said that nothing was discussed on the Parliamentary Select Committee. Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasam said that the Cabinet meeting was held as usual and matters pertaining to the Cabinet of Ministers were discussed. Minister Anuma Gamage said that normal proceedings were conducted in the meeting of the Cabinet of Ministers.
The historic Poson Maha Perahera of Polonnaruwa started at the Polonnaruwa Watadagaya yesterday under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. According to the historic traditions, the Perahera was commenced after the President placed the golden casket containing the sacred relics on the royal elephant. Under the advice of the Solos Mastana Adipati of Polonnaruwa, Venerable Vendaruwe Upalinayaka Thera and Mahasangha, the Perahera was organized by government institutions, the farming community of Polonnaruwa, volunteer organizations and the business community. A fire has broken out at a manufacturing facility of electrical equipment at the Velisara area in Ragama. The fire has broken out at around 6 a.m. today. According to our provincial correspondents, power generators, high-tension electricity lines and a lot of electrical equipment have been damaged due to the disaster. The fire brigade of the Navy camp of Velisara had carried out a 2-hour mission to douse the fire. The cause of it has not been revealed yet. Speaker Karu Jayasuriya says the ruling party and the opposition should join their hands to find solutions to country's hot-button issues. Speaker Jayasuriya was speaking at the Interfaith Summit that was held in Kurunegala. He further noted that the issues of the present generation should not be inherited to the posterity. The event was attended by Anunayaka of the Malwatu chapter, Venerable Dibul Kumbure Vimaladamma Thera, and religious leaders from different faiths. Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksha and several other politicians were also present. Addressing the gathering, the speaker further noted that the Easter Sunday attack is an example of the devastation that can be done by a small number of extremists in the society. He noted that such pathetic incidents should not be repeated. The rationale behind the Interfaith Summit is to strengthen ties among different religious groups. The speaker said that collaboration among political parties would give a lasting solution to current issues in the country. Minister of Education Akila Viraj Karyavasam says the attempts made by some extremist groups to regain their political power is despicable. The minister was speaking at the opening of 2-story building of the Zahira Model School in Kurunegala. The government has borne a cost of 23 million rupees for the project. The project was accomplished under the Nearest School is the Best School initiative. He highlighted that politicians attached to the Pohottua political party are sowing hatred and extremism. The minister pointed out that the UNP categorically rejects extremism as it leads to destruction. He noted that the current government is committed to protect the rights of the minorities. Minister Karyavasam said that Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has a clear vision on the country's progress. A woman was killed in a road accident that took place in Galloya area in Habarana. Two individuals who sustained serious injuries in the same accident were rushed to the Habarana hospital and were transferred to the Dambulla hospital consequently. The accident has been caused as a speedy lorry has struck with a trishaw parked in front of a boutique. Meanwhile, the farmers in the Minneria area complained that an unidentified disease is spreading in paddy fields in Madirigiriya. According to farmers, the stem of paddy saplings gets spoiled once inflicted with the disease. Manager of the corporate section of the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation, Ravi Mendis, says the report that has been published by the Maubima newspaper on the insurance scheme introduced to the Sri Lankan migrant workers in Kuwait is totally false. Addressing a media briefing held in Colombo, he pointed out that no broker has been involved in the insurance process. The Sri Lanka Insurance has directly involved in agreements with its counterpart in Kuwait and the Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau. Ravi Mendis said that when selecting a client, the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation is concerned about the quality of the service, the rate of the offer. The Kuwait Insurance Corporation that is working with the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation is one of most reputed state-owned organizations in Kuwait with more than 50 years experience. He pointed out that the employer in Kuwait is paying the insurance payment for the employees. Hence, the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation is imperative to choose the best insurance organization in Kuwait. Addressing the press briefing, parliamentarian Manusha Nanayakara stated that a special insurance card will be introduced to the migrant workers in the near future. He stated that the claim that the migrant workers are expected to pay the insurance installment is totally false. Manusha Nanayakara highlighted that this insurance scheme covers all the accidents, deaths and other harms in Kuwait. If migrant workers would be brought back to Sri Lanka, the cost will be borne by the insurance organization. General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Dayasiri Jayasekara, says though there is a spectrum of views and opinions on the forthcoming presidential election, President Maithripala Sirisena will definitely be a presidential candidate. Dayasiri Jayasekara was speaking at a media briefing at the SLFP headquarters. He noted that the corrupt elements will not be accepted by the general public in forthcoming elections and hence educated public representatives should be given priority. The General Secretary explained that Mahinda Rajapaksa is one of the most experienced politicians in the country. He noted that the former president is in a firm stance that the SLPP and SLFP should join as one force in the elections. According to Dayasiri Jayasekara, though Gotabaya Rajapaksa would be the president, by any chance he would not have absolute power with revisions done to the constitution. The General Secretary highlighted that under the 19th Amendment done to the constitution, the president will not be able to hold even a ministerial position. Up next is Biz News. Sri Lanka earned rupees 35 billion in foreign exchange by exporting 17,500 metric tons of cinnamon last year. This is the largest stock of cinnamon exported during a single year in the history of the cinnamon trade. He said this is a 13% increase when compared to exports made in 2017. He said nearly 80,000 acres are under cinnamon cultivation at present, giving economic sustenance to nearly 100,000 people. The local price of cinnamon is rupees 2,000 per kilo. Mexico is the largest importer of Sri Lanka cinnamon, buying 55% of cinnamon exports last year. Cinnamon exports accounted for 54% of Sri Lanka's export agriculture sector earnings last year. Stability in world market prices, increasing demand for cinnamon-based products and the medicinal value of cinnamon had contributed towards the high demand for Sri Lankan cinnamon. That's all we have for you today. Prime News returns tomorrow. Have a pleasant week. Good night.